Hello, citizens. Day 2 has finished, and I can't believe how fast this CitizenCon 2954 flew by. Even more impressive than how fast it flew by is how much CIG not only showcased, but how much it looks like it's already in the works. On day 1, many of our surprises were not what CIG have been working on, but how deep and detailed they're taking the next big changes to Star Citizen. Now, before we dive in, if you enjoy the video, please make sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons so you don't miss my upcoming videos where I'm going to be diving deeper into a lot of the things that we learned about over the weekend, but also how that's going to impact you as a player in the verse and where it may go in the future. So that's the begging for love session over. Let's dive into my top 3 Day 2 surprises from CitizenCon 2954. Now, we heard all about how we can earn more reputation in the Star Citizen universe, but you can also represent yourself by making that bank, baby, and amassing a huge amount of credits. Now, how we make money in the game is already somewhat varied, but generally speaking, it's the same. However, we're now going to have commerce. Up and down the commodity and supply chain, we're going to be able to enable players to have their own shops, further increasing their bankroll and really actually making it possible for organizations to grow to be quite sizable and really truly support players in the verse. And that, my friends, is the power of an MMO with a wonderful economy, and I'm looking forward to it. Now, much of this has been a bit opaque for me. I'll be honest. I come from EVE Online. The economy there is tricky, but very interesting. I was looking for something similar here in the verse, and while I do understand that we probably won't be getting a fully 100% player-driven economy, we are going to be getting an economy that the players are driving quite a bit, if not all. We're going to be making money by crafting, or reprocessing, or refining. We're going to be making money by selling the things that we've crafted. We'll make money by marketing our skills better than others. We'll make money by making things that are better than other people, which we will be able to do based off of blueprints and our skill set. Are we able to upgrade those blueprints? Are our own crafting skill sets higher than others? Do we have blueprints that we happen to have gotten from a drop that are really rare, and therefore there aren't that many of us that can craft the Acme widget? Well, if there aren't that many of us that can craft the Acme widget, that means we're going to be in high demand. It also means what we're making is probably going to be worth a good bit of money. So all of these things were talked about, and I was surprised at how economy focused they were versus base building. I thought we were going to get the base building part of it. We were going to craft things to build bases, but there's definitely a focus on crafting and resource collection and resource processing and blueprints and skills. That all of it points to, hey, y'all, you need to be making that paper. I would love to be able to say, hey, if we're going to have our own player-run shops, we should have that BMM in game. But where art thou, BMM? Where art thou? I still have many questions about how much control the players are going to have. Obviously, there's Quanta and StarSim, which are still fairly opaque. There have been some sessions discussing them, but we're going to dive into that much deeper. Of course, as I say, there will be videos on these topics. And as I learn more, and as I can dig up more, and as I can find out more information, I will try to put a proper perspective on it, where my vision is, and also with what CIG has shared. At the end of the day, though, they are going to want to keep some level of control so that we don't get runaway inflation or market manipulation, things that we have seen and are seeing in places like EVE Online. Now, for the blueprints, like I said, they are going to be acquired through reputation rewards. You'll be able to buy them. You'll be able to loot them. You'll be able to upgrade them, but they're not going to be a physical item. They are going to be a digital item, so I don't believe we're going to be able to buy, sell, trade from other players, which is a little sad. I was hoping to be able to have blueprints that I could sell. If I dropped a really nice blueprint that I personally don't need, I personally am not specializing in that item, I'd like to be able to sell it to another player and not just vendor it. Maybe we'll be able to do that at some point. Maybe I missed it, but from what I heard, it didn't sound like we'd be able to just sell that blueprint to somebody else. All that said, I was not expecting a lot of economy talk. We didn't get a lot of literal money talk, but boy, we got everything about the stuff we're going to use to make money and the way we're going to use money. So we got a lot of great information. I'm looking forward to it. Very happy. Once again, CIG knocked this one out of the park. Two things are certain: death and taxes. I'm not going to go too far into this one. I don't have a lot of information on this one, but I do want to bring it up because we all know that there are big questions about insurance in game. How is that going to work? What's going to happen to the player ships that are purchased outside of game? Particularly with LTI or lifetime insurance or a 10-year insurance, 120 months. How is that going to work? And when you are buying ships in-game, how does that insurance work? What about battles or large capital ships? Are you going to be able to have that ship recovered through insurance within a matter of 30 or 45 minutes or an hour and be right back into a long-running battle? Many of these questions were either answered or at least got taken a step further. And that's really important because that's a trust point for CIG. We really need to balance this, and they're very well aware, I have no doubt, but they're going to need to balance making sure that they don't piss off the people that have purchased ships with lifetime insurance or 120-month insurance by somehow usurping it or working around it in some way in game. But also keep it fair, because the reality of it is, at the end of the day, it's great that you can purchase ships, and I guess that's not going to go away. Outside of game, I mean. But in game, it should be one idea, right? There's no concept of meta-gamed purchase ships. It is one set of ships that have been purchased, and they're either destroyed or in some state of disrepair. They've given us a little bit of information in the fact that we're going to have insurance now, and insurance works with warranties. That's interesting. I'm looking forward to that. Players that have purchased their ships via the ship store with real money will always have a warranty on their ship along with the insurance that they got. So if you have LTI, then you have a warranty. However, if you don't have lifetime insurance or 120-month insurance, and you haven't purchased your ship with real cash outside of the game, then you're going to have to make sure that you've got a warranty along with the insurance. So there's an element of that that's going to take place. We didn't get a lot of details on it, so there's more to understand there, but it was interesting. I wasn't expecting that, and I probably should have. Maybe that shouldn't have been a surprise to me, because that's going to be a very, very critical thing to get right, as I said, for a 1.0 release. We have to make sure that that is fair. I think that's something that we're looking forward to, and I hope that they get that really nailed right. It may take them a little while, so we're going to have patience with that, but I'm glad they're starting to address it. On top of insurance and warranties for your ship, we're also going to have a ship tax. So we'll have a base tax too. And then, of course, there's the death tax and medical insurance, clone management type of costs, things like that. Ships are going to have insurance with warranties, but then you're also going to have taxes on that base. Like I said, not a whole lot to talk about here. I was a little surprised, again, that it came up at all, because I really just expected us to get basic crafting and basic base building. So I was blown away by all of this. So now I'm very curious about, well, what does that mean? What do base taxes look like? What do ship taxes, death taxes look like? What does insurance with warranties look like? So I have a lot of questions, and I think it's very good that they're diving deeper into this. I would like to hear more about this. I'd like to see them actually address, how are we going to fund organizations? Are we doing that through an organization tax? Or can I tax people that visit my space station? Will I have my own fee that I can add on top of sales tax or something along those lines? Are there ways for me to recover those taxes by pricing my goods differently? I don't know. Lots of questions in that regard. I was very surprised to see that we're going that far down the path. I'm glad that we are. Obviously, it's a 1.0 build, so it shouldn't be that shocking that we're going to get some details, but it was a surprise that they talked about tax topics and insurance topics and left me wanting more, and I'm looking forward to that. Okay, my final surprise, player space stations. I mean, need I say more? I didn't expect this. I'm not going to go super long on this because we're going to be doing some videos on player space stations. I did not expect space stations for players in 1.0 at all. EVE Online took years to get true space stations in game. The Citadels, I mean, like there were actually other versions of space stations that individual players could certainly set up. But I'm staggered. I thought we were planet-side base building, small base building, not even at the scale that they showed us. But space stations just blew my mind that we would have player-owned and run space stations, firstly. And then that they're so extensible and expandable. Another huzzah moment. It's fantastic. Now, a couple things real quick on it is I didn't expect it, but I will tell you that it's obviously going to have to serve a lot of purposes, and they showcase some of those. They've got huge expansion capabilities. Well, why am I expanding my space station? You're expanding it because you want to be able to have storage of cargo capability. You want to have refining capabilities. You want to have shops. You're not having a BMM or a privateer. You want to have shops on your space station. You're going to be able to do that. Additionally, they're going to have a shipyard component that you can add a whole section to your space station that is for shipyards. What? I mean, obviously we knew we were going to build ships, but the size ships that I thought we'd be building in game, With this shipyard, it was a huzzah moment. It was crazy. What I will say though, and this is something else that I wanted them to address with their 1.0 talk, and they definitely did to some degree, but I think we're going to need more. A lot of people have bought into Star Citizen with the mindset of, I'm going to have all of those things. I'm going to have a spaceship that's really big.
You're not going to be effectively flying that spaceship if you don't have a crew.
And when I say crew, I'm talking about organizations. If you don't have that group, you're not going to have massive industrial planet-side or moon-side bases. You're not going to have space stations. Now, does that mean that if CIG doesn't put a control on who can or can't have a station, that you couldn't become a trillionaire and build a station, buy the resources needed, whatever? Sure, you could. My point is, generally speaking, this is an in-game content item for organization level play. That's how I see it. And I feel like that's how it has to be. If you don't have things that are only doable at an organization level, then you lose the power of an organization in a lot of ways. So I was flabbergasted. I was stunned. I was happy. I'm thrilled. I can't wait. I'm so glad you stopped by to listen to this video about my top 3 things that surprised me from day 2 of CitizenCon 2954. I hope you have a lovely day. Please make sure you definitely click on that subscribe button and the like button thing if you liked the video. I really appreciate the support. I'm having a lot of fun coming back to content creation. Go check out my Twitch channel. That's linked down below. I'm actually streaming on Twitch again a couple of days a week. I'm ramping back up into the content creation game, but the YouTube side of things is brand new for me, and I'm thoroughly enjoying it. I want to thank my editor, Ram, for the work so far. He has been an inspiration and a cattle prod and a carrot when needed for any one of those things to actually get this project rolling, and I'm very thankful for him, and I'm thankful for all of you out there. Thank you again. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you in the next video. Until next time, take care.